Now, it's not just Australia that's having serious trouble with China. Now, we know that Indian soldiers last week fought Chinese ones. Yes, Chinese soldiers, they said, had tried to cross the border in the Himalayas, very remote part of it, and this time they did fight with just fists, soldiers on both sides injured, in what India says was an attempt by China to take over Indian territory. But this, in fact, is not the worst clash they've had either in this disputed territory. Last year, Indian and Chinese soldiers actually fought with sticks and bricks. And 2 years ago, Chinese soldiers crossed the river and triggered a deadly fight that killed 20 Indian soldiers and 4 Chinese ones. Joining me for the last time this year is General Jack Keane. He's a retired 4-star general and former Vice Chief of Staff of the United States Army. He is now Chairman. General Jack Keane, thank you so much for your time. India, China, this is just one more conflict that China has with its neighbours that could easily get out of control, right?
Oh, there's absolutely no doubt about it. These tactical skirmishes that occur on the border here are dangerous because these are two very large conventional armies. Obviously, there's political disagreements over the border and where exactly is it. And things that happen because of local grievances between the two armies and the units that are on the border can grow into something much larger than that. And yes, that is the concern here, certainly. Every time this happens, the entire region, and to include the United States, gets very concerned about what's happening.
Is the US doing enough to help Australia defend ourselves? I don't think we're doing enough, to be honest, but is the US doing enough? Last week it said it would deploy more military assets here in Australia, including air, land and sea forces. It's going to place more munitions and fuel here to support US military activity. It's also asked Japan to come and join Australia and the US in 3-way military drills. That's a lot, but is it enough?
No, it's not enough, but it's a huge step. But what I've been arguing for, with a sense of urgency, move to bring more military capability into the region, particularly from the United States. And we call that forward deploy our forces into the region. Because the fact is, the PLA, the Chinese military, has more airplanes, more ships, more offensive and defensive missiles than the United States and our allies in the region have. And the Chinese military, when they look at that, they see that they have a military advantage. We want to take that advantage away from them. We don't want to encourage them to take any action because they feel now is a good time to do that. So yes, this forward deployment that's going to take place is a right step.